Micklow, and I'm here with two of the guys from Sharp Shock. How's it going?
Very good, Erin. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you guys were so great yesterday. Actually on Alkaline Trio's record label. How did that happen? How did you get together with them?
It was really a combination of two things. I mean, me and Dan have both had kind of personal friendships with that band for a few years now. I was an assistant engineer on their Damnesia record, so I first met them when I worked in the studio with them, and then after that, me and Matt recorded a B-side, I think, for his solo record when Matt was doing The Secrets.
My old band toured with Trio a whole bunch of times, and then when we were working on the new stuff, I played it for him for Skiba, and he was just like, "Oh, this is amazing! I have to put it out." And it was great because we played music for a long time, and we've kind of, the music industry has ups and downs, and especially if you're generally a young band or a band that's trying to push forward. And we both moved from overseas to be here, so we've definitely both experienced some of the harder times that music, you can experience in music. So it was really refreshing for him to be such a fan of the music and also want to push it and put the record out. It kind of meant that we didn't have to deal with the label industry or really all that stuff that we never really had good experiences with.
Yeah.
So because he was a friend, it was like, oh, it's a no-brainer, like, rad. He's a supporter of us, and he's a supporter of the music, so what a great head start, like a great, first step up kind of thing.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then the relationship is also just so much more personal. It's not just a straight business relationship, so you have more invested.
And I think, at the time, we'd literally just started kind of having fun, making some music with this band. We didn't have any, big plans for it, so it fit us. There was a couple of other people interested, a couple of other labels, a little bit interested, and I think it just fit what we wanted to do the most because it was kind of casual, and Matt was just like, I love you guys, you're friends, let me put this record out and we'll just let it be what it is. So everything has just been really casual and easy ever since, so it made sense to do it.
So you being an engineer at HURLEY Studios, how much did you work on your own record, Youth Club? Did you, or did you have other people do it?
Not that much, really.
No, I did everything because I think I come from punk rock, and as we all do in this band, and I very much come from a place of DIY, and I've always had have a heavy hand in anything that I do creatively. I always want to control it. It's my baby, so it makes sense if we're recording music, and contrary to what a lot of people maybe think when you're playing festivals like this, there isn't much money in the music business anymore. There's no money in the music business anymore, let's be real. And so you got to do it DIY. So it was more just like, I have that skill set. Of course I'm going to record it, and it doesn't make sense to pay anyone else to do it, and we get to do it our way.
Also in the past, maybe trusting people maybe that we shouldn't have, or learning the hard way, and time is of the essence, and we want to do as much as we can. So to have not total control, but just a big part in what we're doing.
Yeah, so it sounds
pretty important.
How you want it to sound.
Yeah, exactly. Because we both moved here from other countries, so it was like, I don't know. I feel like we couldn't go and stay at our parents' house over here. We could things like that. We had to make it work. So I feel like the pressure that we did experience isn't really with this band because we've sort of learned. You know what I mean? So now it's like Davey said, we just sort of planned on having fun and letting it kind of be its own thing and not really trying to micromanage it or think that we're taking over the world. It's just it is what it is. We're just doing what we were doing in our garages when we were kids. You know what I mean?
Garage.
Yeah.
Garage, Dan.
I heard you say that yesterday on stage. Garage.
Yeah.
Garrett. I can't even say it the way you say it. Garage.
There you go.
It's muscle memory. You can't lose these things.
take you guys to make your new album, Youth Club?
Youth Club was, I mean, to be honest, everything we've put out has been pretty fast. Like that was another thing, was that we started the band just to kind of, me and Dan have both been through the ringer a little bit. We came out here with, let's call it the music industry. That's kind of what brought us to this country. And like I said before, we both come from a punk background, but at some point you go, you know, I work a shitty job. I just want to be on tour. I want to play music. Whether that makes me a sellout, I don't care. But at some point, we definitely crossed over into the music business, I think. And you know, I wouldn't take any of it back. We wouldn't be here without it. But you also, it's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? And it chewed us up and spat us out a little bit. And then you go, okay, we've got to do it ourselves. We recorded the Youth Club record really fast, pretty much live in a matter of days, and then mixed it. I think we did some tours or some shows, and then it got mixed kind of later on. But it's pretty fast. It was like, let's just make a punk record. Who cares? Just record it. As long as the songs are good, as long as the performances are urgent, you know, and the songwriting's good, then just put it down on tape and get it out.
Yeah, for sure. Getting it out is the most important. I see that with a lot of artists. They wait and they wait and they wait, and it's like, get it out, get your music out, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know what I mean? Music isn't about perfection all the time, you know, imperfection can be great.
Yeah. Well, so I'm genuinely curious, how did you come up with the name Sharp Shock, and what does it mean?
I think that was, first of all, I really don't think we put any thought into it, but I seem to remember you coming up with it, and it was like,
yeah,
you came up with a list.
I came up with a list,
and I remember 2 days later, I was like, Dan, I don't remember any names, but I remember Sharp Shock, and that's got to count for something.
Yeah,
where you got it from, I'm not sure.
I collect books about music, you know, like we all do, but it was a book on Ian Curtis, and it was a lot of Ian Curtis's like scribbles and writing and stuff, some lyrics, but a lot of just notes and stuff. And I was just flipping through, and it just kind of jumped off the page. And it kind of went along with the whole attitude of what we wanted to do, which was just a sharp shock of you know, honest, urgent music, you know. So I came up with some other ones I can't remember for the life of me now, but that was the one that sort of stuck out.
When you've got us two in a room together, and it's like, what about Sharp Shock? It's like, all right, that'll do. And we also didn't want to overthink anything. It literally was nothing about this band was ever thought about at all. It was just like, it's good enough.
Especially what we didn't think about was the accent. When we say Sharp Shock, most people have no clue what we're saying.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean? They're like Shake Shack or what? Like Shock.
Shake Shack. That's a fast food chain.
Yeah, I saw my mate Greg the very next day, and he was like, have you got a name for this project? And I'm like, I think we're calling it Sharp Shock. And he was the very first person that was like, Shape Shack, Shock. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, he's just not getting it. And then you do more and more and speak to more and more people.
We almost have to put on an American accent in certain situations just to get the point across.
So
you know what I mean?
We made a banner for stage, like, because that's just mandatory. Otherwise, if I go, hey, how you doing, everybody? We're called Sharp Shock.
Yeah.
Like,
we need subtitles down the bottom, like flashing.
Yesterday, you mentioned on stage something about fighting against sexism and homophobia. Can you elaborate on that? What that was about?
Yeah, that was something. I just think, you know, when you got 30 minutes up on stage, and it shouldn't always just be about music. You know what I mean? And that's just something that I care about. I think equality and unity. And I actually witnessed. I don't want to go into it too heavily. I think this festival's amazing, but I witnessed a little bit of homophobia, just out of a couple of people's mouths, and you know, nobody's perfect, but it really it offended me. It actually kind of upset me. Like, I was at a punk show just a couple of days ago in LA. I went to see Alice Bag from the Bags, and her show is so right on. Her politics are so right on, and it really is a lesson in being punk. And when I'm there, I'm just like, you know, I go right back to my punk roots of just like, this is the real subculture. This is why I got into punk rock. This is what it's about. This is where I belong. And then you come to something that's a little bit more corporate, and it's still rooted in punk. But like I say, I heard a little bit of homophobia, and it just, it offended me, and so I just try and make a point that it's like, this is technically still a punk scene, and in 2018 we can all be working on shit, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's no room for sexism, racism, transphobia, homophobia. I'm not the most outspoken political person. I can't vote in this country, and I can't vote back in my own country in England. I'm like very caught in the middle, so it's a weird thing to be outspoken about this stuff. But the past few weeks have really kind of depressed me with politics, and I'm not one to like usually get it. Of course it affects us all, but I'll try not to let it really affect my own head too much. But the way things have been recently with that stuff, it's been bad. It's been depressing. So it's like, spend a few seconds to say something, you know?
I think that's important, because I think a lot of people don't understand that maybe if they're saying something like that, they don't think it's wrong. And if people tell them that it's wrong, then maybe they'll turn, you know, a new leaf and realize, is this wrong? Because obviously the circles they're hanging out in, it's accepted, you know, because nobody's told them it's bad.
Yeah.
And so I think that is important that you guys do mention that on stage, and that's great to say that, to let people know, hi, this is not okay.
And it's just, I know, I was thinking about it a lot, you know, it really kind of got under my skin, and I was like, I have to go and play somewhere where this is happening, and nobody's perfect, and I know it's just language, and that's half of it, is that like people just let shit roll off their tongue. And I was like, was this person actually 100% fueled by like homophobia and hatred? And I'm like, I really don't think that's the case. Maybe I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, but it was just like, it's society. It's the problem with society, and that's why we're here involved with punk, you know what I mean? It's shit that they learned when they were 15 years old in school. And it's like, if you're not working on that to try and change that, yeah, maybe it's only words, but the shit that we project out of our mouths is what we put out there into society, and it's going to affect people, it's going to offend people, and it's going to just carry on, do you know what I mean? It's going to influence the next generation. So I just think it's a good thing to like, just to be working on our shit that we're saying, you know what I mean? I think it was Propaganda that said, I'll call you on your shit, please call me on mine.
Call me on mine, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's work together and make everything better.
That's cool. So your other band, Suedehead, I just saw from Pirates Press, they're releasing a compilation of your EPs. Is there a chance that you might do a tour now with that band? I mean, there's like a resurgence of that coming back, so. Yeah.
I honestly don't know. That band isn't really functioning anymore.
Yeah.
That was a.
Why the release?
Because I think. Basically, it's a split release with Simba Recordings and Pirates Press Records, and they were just fans of the music, and we did X amount of 7-inches, and I think it was Record Store Day coming up, and I think they just kind of wanted to celebrate it, and it was always kind of meant to be put together on a 12-inch.
Yeah.
So I think they wanted to put it out, and there's an unreleased song, a cover version of Spencer Davis Group, Give Me Some Lovin'. And they're just celebrating it. I didn't have too much to do with it. I was like, that's really cool if you want to put it out, and it's limited edition, gatefold, there's 7-inch inside it, coloured vinyl, like it's really, really cool. So any Record Store Day heads, check it out. There's probably like 500 copies and then it's gone.
That's cool. So then maybe you'll think about it? Or is this band all consuming?
This band is the priority right now. But maybe there'll be a show at some point. I don't know. Just can't say.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk
Thanks
to
for
me. You
having
guys
us.
were great yesterday.
Hello. We're Sharp Shock.
And you are watching Last Rockers TV.
Here we go, dancing all night.